day, Excellencies. Welcome to J Mike Virtual Classroom.
Today, we will talk about strategies in various speech situations and types of speech act. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify some various types of speech context, distinguishes types of speeches and speech style, and lastly, responds appropriately and effectively to a speech act. What is a speech act? A speech act is an utterance that the speaker makes to achieve an intended effect. Some of the functions which are carried out using speech acts are offering an apology, greeting, request, complaint, invitation, compliment, or refusal. A speech act might contain just one word or several words or sentences. For example, thanks and thank you for always being there for me. I really appreciate it. Both show appreciation regardless of the length of the statement. Three types of speech act according to G. L. Austin, a philosopher of language and a developer of the speech act theory. There are three types of acts in every utterance, given the right circumstances or context. These are: number one, locutionary or utterance. Act is the actual act of uttering, which has some phonetic form and consists of words and grammatical constructions, and has some sense and concrete reference to reality. Elocutionary is a linguistic expression of anything that has meaning. Examples: asking or answering a question, giving some information, an assurance, or a warning, announcing a verdict or an intention, pronouncing a sentence. Number two, elocutionary act or intention is the social function of what is said. It may be defined as the speaker's intended meaning in his utterance. It is therefore closely connected with a speaker's general intent, such as stating, questioning, promising, requesting, giving commands, threatening, and many other similar communicative actions. The elocutionary act is a communicative force of an utterance. The meaning of an elocutionary act has two bases: the intent and the context of the utterance. A good example is a remark. It's rather late. This could either be a request to finish a meeting or an offer to end one. Since it is not always easy to ascertain a speaker's elocutionary act, the speaker uses many helpful aids, ranging from the most obvious ones, such as clarity of verbs, to extra oral indicators like stress, timbre, and intonation, and even in such effort as arranging words in a specific order, among other helpful communication tools. Number three, perlocutionary or response is the resulting act of what is said. This speech act defines or creates an intended or unintended effect of an utterance, which can be interpreted in many ways, such as neutral statement, a threat or warning, a promise, or other emotive input. For example, a command or request might provoke the calm response, "Okay, I'll do it right now," or a bad-tempered outburst, "Go and do it yourself." There are also indirect speech acts which occur when there is no direct connection between the form of the utterance and the intended meaning. They are different in force, in short, intention, from the inferred speech act. For example, read the following utterance: "Can you pass the rice?" Inferred speech act: "Do you have the ability to hand over the rice?" A direct speech act: "Please pass the rice." So while the utterance literally asks the addressee if he or she has the ability to hand a plate of rice, it actually indirectly requests the addressee to pass the rice to the speaker. Performatives. Austin also introduced the concept of performative utterances, statements which enable the speaker to perform something just by stating it. In this manner, Verbs that execute the speech act that they intend to affect are called performatives. A performative utterance said by the right person under the right circumstances results in a change in the world. Note that certain conditions have to be met when making a performative utterance. For example, the phrase, I now pronounce you husband and wife, when uttered by an authorized person, such as a judge, will have the actual effect of the binding the couple in marriage. However, if the same statement is uttered to the same couple in the same place by someone who is not authorized to marry them, as in the case of accompanying picture, a robot, then there is no effect whatsoever because a condition was not met. Searle's classification of speech acts. As a response to Austin's speech act theory, John Searle, a professor from the University of California, Berkeley, classified elocutionary acts into five distinct categories. Number one, assertive. A type of electionary act in which the speaker expresses belief about the truth of a proposition. Some examples of an assertive act are suggesting, putting forward, swearing, boasting, and concluding. Example: no one makes better pancakes than I do. Number two, directive. A type of electionary act in which the speaker tries to make the addressee perform an action. Some examples of a directive act are asking, ordering, requesting, inviting, advising, and begging. Example: please close the door. Number three, commissive. A type of electionary act which commits the speaker to doing something in the future. Examples of commissive act are promising, planning, vowing, and betting. Example: for now on, I will participate in our group activity. Expressive. A type of electionary act in which the speaker expresses his or her feelings or emotional reactions. Some examples of an expressive act are thanking, apologizing, welcoming, and deploring. Example: I am so sorry for not helping out in our group projects and letting you do all the work. Number five, declaration. A type of electionary act which brings a change in the external situations. Simply put, declarations bring into existence or cause the state of affairs which they refer to. Some examples of declarations are blessing, firing, baptizing, bidding, passing a sentence, and excommunicating. Example: you are fired. By saying that someone is fired, an employer causes or brings about the person's unemployment, thus changing his external situation. Always keep in mind that speech acts include concrete life interactions that require the appropriate use of language within a given culture. Communicative competence, in short, the ability to use linguistic knowledge to effectively communicate with others, is essential for a speaker to be able to use and understand speech acts. Idioms and other nuances in a certain language might be lost or misunderstood by someone who does not fully grasp the language yet.
That's all, and I hope you learned something today. Keep safe and stay blessed.